Hi guys, how are you doing? The news of HUSHPUPPI confession in the United States and also the 21 years that has been given to him to spend in jail. HUSHPUPPI is somewhere around 38, I think. And if you add that together with the 21 years old, HUSHPUPPI will be coming out a very old man. HUSHPUPPI also will be returning certain amount of money to people that he scammed. Not just him alone. HUSHPUPPI worked with other people, and the document that was released has been redacted, meaning certain part of it has been covered, so as not to release information to the public right now. But there is something that concerns Nigeria in this, aside HUSHPUPPI being, Nigeria, although he already denounced Nigeria, he got a St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship somehow, and he doesn't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. A Nigerian, a police officer, decorated, praised by a lot of people, although there are certain activities of this man that a lot of people have questioned. And if you look at Nigeria and the criminal, the activities of the criminal, the characteristics of criminals in Nigeria, you realize that you cannot even handle them in a sane way, because they themselves are not normal. But then BBC did an intensive interview, research, documentary on ABBA KYARI, being that he is a documented, celebrated, police officer, and they found out that ABBA KYARI, had certain practices that were not normal. He worked outside of the normal legal way of operating. I'm not going to talk about that because it is a very complex one. Imagine you pick a bandit or a terrorist. What other way are you going to go around it? A warrant of arrest has been issued for Nigerian Police Commissioner ABBA KYARI. That is the report based on the court document. If you're just coming across this channel, why don't you join this progressive family by tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos such as this are dropped. If you're a returning subscriber, I say welcome. If you are already a member of this wonderful progressive family, I say a very big thank you and God bless for building it up. What is right of the United States District Court for the Central District of California ordered the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, to track down Mr. KYARI and produce him in the United States for his role in a multi-million-dollar fraud perpetrated by Ramon Abbas, popularly known as HUSHPUPPI. He is now being called a notorious fraudster. Abbas was arrested in Dubai last June and he pleaded guilty to the fraud in the United States this week. The FBI said Abbas and KYARI have been friends and were both involved in conspiracy to launder money. So the story that we heard, there are more to it. In fact, I believe there are more politicians and certain people that will be part of this. They are just releasing it little by little so as not to make the chicken run away. There are a lot of people involved in this. Once HUSHPUPPI became popular doing whatever it is that he does, certain people visited him and he took pictures with them. There are some people who went to him in the hope that he was going to give them money, or they wanted to learn from him, or probably they were spies. I wouldn't know. Even this guy went to him, although we've not heard anything about him. We don't know if he's whatever it is that he's in there for. I'm not going to mention his name right now since he has not been mentioned yet. These things are still going to explode more and more. And like I told you when we started talking about this issue of fraud, there is local fraud, even in Nigeria, where Nigerians themselves defraud themselves. There is fraud in Africa. There's fraud all over the world. Now we are talking about international fraud, where people, let's say Africans, defraud people in the West. I'm talking of the Western countries like Europe, and in the United States, America, Canada, Australia. They defraud just anybody. They defraud multinational companies and even individuals. Now, a lot of people have argued about this and they said this is not going to stop. It is the truth. It's not going to come to a end. No matter the number of HUSHPUPPI or whoever they capture, there's going to put an end to this. Remember Victor Sobi and many other people, it's not going to come to an end. A lot of people will, kind of replace them immediately. And I started looking at the pattern aside this, this urge to make fast money. I started seeing the pattern and I felt that it is karma. There is a law called karma. If you look at the West, they built their country on the backs of other people. They terrorized them, they kidnapped them, they enslaved them. They did a lot of very terrible. If you look at the scenes, no matter how much every people want to keep quiet about it or cover it up or say whatever it is, what happened during that slave trade, what happened during the colonization, what happened, and what is even happening now, the new colonization and many other things coming from the West. I'll give you a little example. When they unsealed the email of Hillary Clinton, there were certain things they saw there, crime committed against other nations. Not because those nations themselves are free of crime themselves, but we are talking of external people who call themselves people of integrity, who want us to see them that way. When that broke out, and the reason it broke out is because Donald Trump wants to kick against certain people, want to hit them. He's also having his own internal problems. He wants to kick against them and probably paid certain people to break and hack emails. And yes, probably it was done for him for free. I don't know. What happened when those emails came out showing the activities of the United States in other countries, how they destroy other countries, how they do a lot of very terrible things. So people say this is nemesis. It's like a ripple effect, and that is why these things will not come to an end. If you kind of check countries where these things are coming, happening so often, you see it's from Africa, from India, from Asia in general, where many of these European countries, many of these Western countries dominated. They did a lot of very terrible things. If you go to India, they have so many call centers. All these call centers are trying to call you, rip you off, and tell you that they are working for Microsoft and Apple and many other things. It's not going to come to an end. No matter how you do, no matter what you do, it's just going to be, that's just what it is. Because it's like the law of karma. What you've stolen, what you've taken to build up your nation, they will be attacking you using technology. And that is what is happening. But I am not a supporter of crime, no matter whatever the crime is. I'm not a supporter of crime, but I'm just telling you my own thought about it, what I've kind of seen about all of this. So it's time for people to, the West, to return whatever it is that they've stolen, although they might not be able to return just everything, because returning it is like they are going to empty their own country to pay the nations that they've stolen from. Now, that being said, even those nations, their own leaders are still working hand in hand with these criminals by looting from their own country and keeping that money in banks abroad or buying properties. Imagine you live abroad right now and you wake up one day and you want to buy property worth, let's say $1.5 million or 1.5 million euros abroad. You'll be questioned because 99% of the people there mortgage, they pay monthly. Even if a certain amount of money comes into your account, the bank immediately blocks that account and call you. Are you expecting 10,000 euros? Are you expecting $10,000? Now, how is it possible that politicians come in and do these things without problem? It is simple. Those countries are still operating in the same manner at which they operated in the beginning, when slavery, colonization, and all of that. They are still interested in stealing, bringing in the gold, silver, diamond, and all good things that are in Africa. So it's a very complex one. Now, let's go to the story proper. ABBA KYARI, the police officer, decorated police officer, Raymond Abbas, HUSHPUPPI, said, I called on him to help me deal with certain people who were both involved in some million-point-something dollar deal, trying to defrauded a Qatari businessman and all of that. I called him and I told him, and this man immediately yesterday, he said, no. He called me that his family is, the life of his family is at risk, and he pointed to a certain individual called Vincent, and we arrested Vincent and interrogated him. And whilst we were doing that, he checked on my Instagram. He saw some native attire that I was putting on. He said he would like to buy this for me, and he contacted the person, the designer, and he bought it for 300,000 naira, blah, 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 blah. The point is this, he denied. That is it. HUSHPUPPI is not going to go down without joining Nigerians. That is HUSHPUPPI. If you look at the manner at which HUSHPUPPI operates and the way he talks, HUSHPUPPI will make sure that he brings in certain individuals in Nigeria that a lot of you might not even believe. American prosecutors first sought a court warrant to arrest KYARI on February 12, 2021. So this is not just the beginning. According to court documents seen by the Gazette, another warrant has been requested on April 29, 2021. Judge Wright permission for the FBI to arrest KYARI and hold him in United States custody was unsealed on July 26. KYARI, in a hurried statement, denied allegation of conspiracy, with HUSHPUPPI saying he only met him 2 years ago and did not benefit financially from him. It was not immediately clear whether or not an extradition request has been filed for KYARI. Attorney General Abubakar Malami did not immediately return a request seeking comments from the Gazette. So, is Mr. KYARI going to be thrown to the dogs? That's it. Is he going to be thrown out there by the federal government of Nigeria so as to appear and make the government of Buhari or Nigeria appear like a country that frowns against fraudsters? We will see if ABBA KYARI has enough grace under the regime of Major General Muhammadu Buhari for him to be covered. Probably the government, Malami, is going to issue a disclaimer and say ABBA KYARI never had anything to do with this guy. ABBA KYARI never had anything to do with it. We're not interested in HUSHPUPPI. Is just trying to stain and destroy the image of Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. We don't know. Let us see what all of this will turn out to be. Don't forget that even Malami and even the EFCC boss, Magu and the rest of them, all of them have been roped in crime in Nigeria and they still remain there working officially. So what else? Let us see what will happen in these coming days. I'll keep you guys posted on all of the events that is going to come up, and I will tell you a lot.